Coming up on Evening Edition, President Trump schedules a visit to Southern Illinois, plus a heroic alumnus comes back as Grand Marshal, and Central American migrants march closer to the U.S. border. Live from Southern Illinois University, you're watching River Region Evening Edition. President Donald Trump will be in Southern Illinois this weekend. Good evening, I'm Devin Dom.
And I'm Jacob Gordon. Southern Illinois Congressman Mike Bost's campaign confirmed that the president is scheduled to fly into Murfreesboro to hold a rally in support of Bost. The rally will be held at Hangar 6 of SIU's airport at 4:30 on Saturday, but the doors will open at 1:30. Bost, an incumbent Republican, is in what's being called one of the most competitive congressional races in the country against Democrat Brendan Kelly. Now, if you would like to go to the rally, you can reserve your tickets on the website at the bottom of your screen. River Region Evening Edition will continue to provide more details as we receive them. And the Carbondale City Council meeting that was scheduled for Tuesday night has been canceled. According to the Southern Illinois, Mayor Mike Henry decided to cancel the meeting because of the possibility of civil disobedience related to President Trump's visit to Carbondale. The next City Council meeting is currently scheduled for November 13th.
There will be a public memorial service tomorrow for late SIU Carbondale Chancellor Carlo Montemagno. The service is set to take place at 1 p.m. in Shryock Auditorium. In addition to this service, the SIU Foundation has established the Carlo D. Montemagno Scholarship Fund in his memory. Faculty, staff, and others from the community are encouraged to leave a message on the Chancellor's blog. Perry County Sheriff Steve Barris recently announced 5 arrests in an ongoing drug investigation. Jeremy Jones of DuQuoin was charged with delivery of a controlled substance and delivery of cannabis. Courtney Prather of DuQuoin is charged with delivery of methamphetamine. Brian Eaton of DuQuoin is charged with 2 counts of delivery of cannabis. Raven Elder of Pinckneyville is charged with the delivery of controlled substance, and Estella Dyer of DuQuoin is charged with 2 counts of delivery of a controlled substance. The arrests are part of an ongoing investigation into drug activity in Perry County.
A multiple vehicle crash happened Saturday night on I-57. Illinois State Police say the accident happened near mile marker 73 in Franklin County. 3 vehicles were involved and 2 people were transported to Franklin County Hospital with minor injuries. One driver was cited for failing to reduce speed to avoid an accident.
In Chicago, volunteers have begun helping police search for a pregnant postal worker who hasn't been seen in nearly 3 weeks.
Investigators suspect possible foul play in her disappearance. John Garcia has more on the mystery that's drawing national attention.
Joseph Coles quit his job to look for his daughter. He stands in the street passing out flyers. It's been nearly 3 weeks, and so far, nothing.
I love my baby. I'll quit my job again tomorrow if I had to.
26-year-old Kiara Coles was last seen on a neighbor's security camera leaving home early in the morning on October 2nd. She was dressed for work, but had already called in sick. Police say they suspect foul play. Friends and co-workers say her disappearance makes no sense.
She's not the type that'll let somebody just sneak up on her.
Dozens of volunteers have been working the neighborhood with little luck.
We have a lot of abandoned buildings around here.
Some volunteers have never even met the missing woman.
This could have been anybody. It could have been me. It could have been my sister. It could have been my cousin. You know, you just can't wait till it happened to your home or your family to help.
The Postal Service and her union have put up more than $25,000 in reward money. But so far, that has failed to bring in much information. Activist Andrew Holmes is helping coordinate search efforts.
The phone volume is very low with information.
Her father, meantime, remains hopeful of finding answers.
It's been too long. I'm quite sure someone's seen something or knows something.
It was definitely a cold, brisk morning this morning, but it was heated up as the day went on. It's definitely fall, and we're seeing those temperatures.
Exactly. Zach Warhus is here now with the first look at weather. Zach.
All right, thank you very much, Jacob. As we can see, it was a beautiful day today. You know, it was very warm. Tonight we're looking at temperatures of about 48 degrees. It's going to be a clear night. Tomorrow morning we're going to see about the same temperature degrees. It's going to get up into the 43 in the morning, all the way to 60 at midday. So it's going to be nice and warm again tomorrow. As we look forward, we can see that we do have a river flood warning. So I'm going to tell you about that later if you guys stick on with us. And we have rain on the horizon and our 5-day forecast and more if you stay with us.
This year's SIU Homecoming Parade featured Grand Marshal Jason Seaman. Seaman, a former SIU football player, stopped a school shooting in May, and SIU honored him by making him the parade Grand Marshal. Seaman was happy to return to Carbondale for the first time in several years.
There are a lot of things that are still here, still thriving. These facilities I was here for, so that's not new, but then, some of the places that I have a lot of fond memories of just hanging out and eating with friends and stuff. Some are new, some are old, and it's just time marching on.
The parade also featured Hall of Fame inductees, including Bruce Weber, who took SIU to the Sweet 16 in 2001.
It's a nice honor, and feel very blessed, very fortunate to be part of this program and to have part of one of the best mid-major runs in the history of college basketball.
Weber was the head basketball coach from 1999 to 2003 and led the team to 2 NCAA tournaments and a Sweet 16 appearance. Weber and 6 others were honored at a ceremony on Friday.
Also over the weekend, it was the annual glass pumpkin sale at SIU. People started lining up before dawn Saturday morning to get their pick of the homemade Halloween decorations. Members of Southern Glasswork, a part of SIU School of Art and Design, handcrafted each pumpkin with prices starting at $40. There was also a glass blowing demonstration by David Levi, SIU's glass artist in residence.
Ahead on Evening Edition, President Trump is threatening to cut off some foreign aid because of the migrant caravan.
Plus, a tragedy strikes a fraternity party at Clemson University. You're watching Evening Edition at 5.
Organizers say there are now 7,500 people marching north as a part of a migrant caravan that plans to travel through Mexico and head towards the U.S.
President Trump says the U.S. may cut aid to Central America countries because of it. Kelly Smoot has more from Washington.
More than 7,000, mostly Central American migrants, continued their march north towards the U.S. border Monday, saying they are seeking safety and better economic opportunities.
Our message is we're not criminals. We're coming over here because we want to work. We need a job. We need better, a better life. That's why we're here.
That is on top of some 3,000 Hondurans who have already quit the caravan and returned home, and the more than 1,000 who stopped their journey in Mexico, claiming refugee status there with the help of the UN's refugee agency.
Numbers will increase in the coming days to address and ensure adequate protection of information on the asylum system to members of the caravan.
But most say they plan to continue their slow march to the U.S., a more than 2,000-mile journey on foot.
This bridge, this river, they can't stop me, she says. I am an all-terrain woman.
President Donald Trump expressed his disappointment that the caravan has not yet been stopped, saying Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador were not able to do the job of stopping people from leaving their country and coming illegally to the U.S. We will now begin cutting off or substantially reducing the massive foreign aid routinely given to them. Most of the money the U.S. has promised to those countries for this year has already been spent. The scheduled 2019 foreign aid packages from the U.S. to Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador add up to more than $180 million. In Washington, I'm Kelly Smoot reporting.
Someone left graffiti outside the main entrance of Yale Law School. The stenciled letters were found this morning on the Stencil Law Building in New Haven, Connecticut. They read, "Indelible, the hippocampus is the laughter." It's a quote from Christine Blasey Ford's testimony during the confirmation hearing for Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Ford accused Kavanaugh of sexually assaulting her during a party when they were in high school. No word on who left the graffiti. And LGBTQ and civil rights activists are speaking out against a reported Trump administration move that would roll back protections for transgender people. They held a news conference today responding to a New York Times report that the Health and Human Services Department is working on a draft proposal that would define sex as solely male or female at birth. Now, if it is adopted, it would erase federal recognition for many Americans who identify as a gender different than the one that they were identified at birth.
Former NFL player Ray Caruth is a free man after serving 17 years in prison. 44-year-old Caruth walked out of the Sampson Correctional Institution in North Carolina this morning. Caruth was convicted in 2001 of hiring a hitman to kill his pregnant girlfriend. According to a spokesman for North Carolina Department of Corrections, Caruth will serve 9 months post-release supervision, in which will have to check in regularly with a parole officer. And new evidence on the murder of of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. New surveillance footage suggests that Saudi sent a body double to pose as Khashoggi leaving the consulate. This implies that the murder was premeditated, a sharp contrast to what the nation claims. Many politicians on both sides of the aisle have criticized the country's explanation for the killing, including Illinois U.S. Senator Dick Durbin.
The Crown Prince has his fingerprints all over this, and the fact that he is heading up the investigation makes it totally incredible.
Turkish officials plan to release more details to the press tomorrow, including a key audio recording.
Over the weekend, disaster struck for a fraternity in Clemson, South Carolina, when a floor collapsed, leaving partygoers tumbling to the basement below. 30 people were hurt in the incident at the clubhouse apartment complex near Clemson University early Sunday morning. Police say the building's first floor collapsed into the basement when the partygoers were dancing.
Party. You got that sensation where everybody was jumping. Next thing you know, I'm jumping. I had my hands up in the air, and the next thing you know, all I could see feeling myself is just falling like this. And then I wake up because I blacked out, and I see like girls everywhere with blood all over their face and everything like that.
Clemson University is offering counseling to students that were involved. And officials in Taiwan are trying to find the cause of a deadly train derailment. A massive train derailment killed 22 people and injured over 170 people when the train jumped the tracks in Yvelin County, according to Taiwan Rail's administration. 8 train cars flew off the tracks and 5 of them flipped upside down. The train was traveling between the cities of Shonan and Tantuk when it derailed.
In our health news tonight, the CDC says 155 cases of a polio-like illness, mostly affecting kids, are now under investigation nationwide. The agency announced today that 28 new cases of AFM emerged last week. AFM, or acute flaccid myelitis, is a rare but serious condition. It affects the area of the spinal cord called gray matter and can cause paralysis. Almost all cases of AFM occur in children under 18 years old. And a new study shows the life expectancy in the U.S. is dropping. According to a study published in the journal Lancet, in 20 years, the U.S. will have the biggest drop in life expectancy ranking of all high-income countries. The 2 biggest factors in the decline of the life expectancy in the U.S. are increases in drug-related deaths and obesity.
Well, it was a beautiful sunny day across the river region. Is the sunshine going to stick around for the rest of the week? Zach has a look at your forecast next.
But first on Wall Street, stocks ended the day with mixed results. The Nightly Business Report has more coming up next at 5:30.
Hello and welcome back to River Region. I'm Zach Warhouse with your weather update. As we can see, we do have another river flood warning for Chester, Illinois. This morning, the river was measured at 31.5 feet. Flood state is at 27 feet, so obviously above that. By Saturday, it is expected to go down to normal levels. If we look at right now, though, our temperature, we're looking at a nice balmy temperature, 63 degrees and sunny. Our dew point is at 37 degrees. Humidity is at 38. Decently strong wind south at 10 miles an hour. And our barometer is right where it normally sits at 30.15. Today, we didn't get anywhere near our record high, which was 89 degrees set in 1953. We were a little bit south of our average, actually. 68, we were at 63 was our high today. Our low was 42, well above our record low, 19 degrees, and right on track with our average for the region. If we blow it up for the rest of the region, we can see that the sun was everywhere except in Marion. Marion was 64 degrees, same as Carbondale and Cape Girardeau. Belleville was a balmy 72, very sunny. Paducah had 65 and Evansville 66. We can blow this up to the rest of the United States. We can see that everyone had the temperatures in the near 70s. This yellow is 70s, green is a little bit colder, getting into the 60s. But everyone was a little bit, was pretty warm. Orlando, of course, was super balmy, but the region is about where it should be at this time of the year. And as we can see, there's a little bit of a cold front coming down through the region. That's going to come down through St. Louis, through Chicago, and going all the way through down there. So we're going to start to see some more of those fall temperatures as the week goes on and as we get later and later into the season as we expect. And we see tonight, we're going to be mostly clear, 42 degrees, very light wind, and sun should be setting around 6:10 p.m. Tomorrow morning for your bus stop, we're going to see a pretty cold 43 degrees at 7:30 in the morning. It's going to be clear outside, northwest wind of 3 miles an hour. If we keep on going, we'll see tomorrow we're going to see temperatures into the 64 degrees and 59% humidity, so it won't be super cold. That 64 is going to feel a little bit warmer than it actually is, especially in that sun. Going on to tomorrow night, we're going to see that it's going to go down to 35 degrees, so getting really chilly out. We'll be on the lookout for frost, 79% humidity, clear skies, and sweet dreams. And if we keep going, here's a look at our 5-day. We have temperatures of 64 degrees coming tomorrow, nice, bright, and sunny. Wednesday is going to be partially cloudy, 58 degrees, 50, 55, and 57. On Friday, we'll be seeing showers in the morning, and on Saturday, it looks like we're just going to be seeing showers potentially all day. So Friday might see some morning showers, then cloudy the rest of the day, leading into Saturday. We're going to start really getting rained on.
We had a beautiful weekend for homecoming, but it always ends up with a weekend full of rain.
Yeah, it is sort of that give and take that you kind of have to get used to.
And it's pretty unfortunate because Carbondale is actually having their Carbondale Halloween this coming weekend. So there's going to be lots of outdoor activities, and I hope that they don't get rained out.
I might go as Mary Poppins just so I can have an excuse to bring an umbrella.
Perfect. That's a perfect excuse.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Well, thank you, Zach.
Thank you, guys.
And now here's Ryan Davis with the preview of what's coming up next in sports. Ryan.
Coming up, we bring you the highlights from our game of the week. And Saluki Volleyball tries for a chance at vengeance. Coming soon on River Region Evening Edition. A tough stretch continued for Saluki Volleyball, traveling to in-state rivals Illinois State and Bradley. SIU had a tough time finding any rhythm offensively, dropping both matches in straight sets. The losses dropped SIU to 0-10 in the conference, with a spot in the conference tournament looking increasingly unlikely. However, the Dogs' next chance for that first win comes Saturday against Missouri State here in Carbondale. And Saluki football couldn't find any home cooking for the homecoming alumni as the team dropped their 6th straight set. The Salukis left a lot of points on the field, turning the ball over twice in the red zone, while Indiana State found great success rushing the ball, totaling over 200 yards on the ground. Final score was 24-21. And men and women's swim teams both competed this weekend, but only one group came out on top. The women's team faced off against Illinois and Illinois State here at home. Unfortunately, the Salukis lost to both teams despite stellar performances. The men's team had better luck as they took on McKendree, Missouri S&T, and St. Louis. The Salukis scored a win in 3 events, including 13 top 5 finishes. Both teams won't hit the water again until November 15th during the Missouri Invite. And 2 playoff teams met in Murfreesboro in our first ever game of the week. The host Murfreesboro Red Devils were in control from the opening kickoff, firmly cementing their playoff state position and bid to host at least one playoff game, beating DeQuoin 49-7. The Indians, meanwhile, will have a much tougher road to a title, dropping their last 2 games and finishing the regular season 6-3.
In all phases, and offensively, we just wanted to get off the ball, and offensive line to get off the ball and execute and take care of the football, and and that's really it. I mean, it wasn't anything fancy. I mean, that sounds like coaching cliches, but that's what it comes down to. It comes down to blocking and tackling.
And with this win, Murfreesboro is headed to the playoffs. And that means it's do or die time for many high school teams, but the playoffs, because the playoffs are here and the brackets are out. Several area schools are hosting at least one game, including Carbondale, Marion, and Murfreesboro. In the 5A bracket, Marion will host Park Forest High School, and Carbondale will host Champaign Central. In 4A, Murfreesboro plays host to Fairbury. For the complete bracket, go to ihsa.com, and Evening Edition is going to try and bring you as much action as possible. In fact, our poll for our Game of the Week is up, and we thank you for the turnout on our first Game of the Week poll. And with the playoffs this week, we're doing it again. This week we have either Marion hosting Park Forest or Carbondale hosting Champaign Central. But if you want to see a different matchup, feel free to post in the comments. The winner will be announced on Thursday's broadcast. So which team would you guys like to see, Carbondale or Murfreesboro, or Marion, I mean?
I would say let's go with Carbondale this time, since we made the road trip to Murfreesboro. Hopefully, I know Carbondale has a pretty good stretch going for them.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good this season. They're looking pretty well. So hopefully this is going to be a long playoff season for them.
I hope so. And other sports or other teams across Southern Illinois are doing pretty good too. So hopefully everybody in Southern Illinois can do pretty good.
Hopefully.
So,
make sure you get out and vote. That's for sure.
Go
All
vote,
right.
people.
Ryan, thanks. And Zach has a final check of your forecast after this.
But first, as we head to break, be sure to follow us on social media at River Region News and check out our website for more local content. We'll be right back.
Well, finally tonight, at least 2 fans left the SIU homecoming game a little happy.
SIU band member Justin Niles proposed to his girlfriend Sam Swanson at the homecoming game this past weekend. Niles popped the question in the third quarter of the game, giving fans something to cheer about during the tough loss.
That's really nice to see. Just like, that's a nice little ending to homecoming right there.
It's so sweet. And even though he's in his band uniform, he's like already dressed up. It's just kind of giving me groom vibes. Maybe you can wear that for the wedding.
I just want to know, will Gray Dog be at the wedding?
Probably.
Or is Brown Dog be at
He's the best man.
Oh, and then is Brown Dog the ring bearer?
Exactly.
Oh, wonderful.
We've got it all planned out for them. They should really call us. We can help them. We can help them plan
We're
this
being
wedding.
wedding planners.
River
Wedding
Region
planners.
wedding
planners.
River Region wedding planners.
Wonderful.
And it was a beautiful football game, so we're going to see that continue.
I'm afraid not. We'll get it tomorrow on Tuesday. We have a high of 64 and a low of 35, but I'm voting for the high. On Wednesday, we're partially cloudy, high of 58, low of 39. Thursday is when the clouds start really rolling in. 50 degrees is our high and 39 is our low. On Friday, we're going to see some showers in the morning, cloudy throughout the rest of the day, a high of 55 and a low of 39. And on Saturday, we're expected to have showers potentially all day. So, you know, we're not going to have the best Hollow weekend for Carbondale, but like I said, I've got my Mary Poppins costume ready. I've got my umbrella, so I'll be all set. I don't know about you guys, but I'm prepared.
I think it kind of works with the whole spooky aspect of it. Just all the rain, the lightning, if anything like that.
Yeah.
It'll be something a little bit more spookier.
Yeah, all right. Well,
Oh
well
my gosh.
thank you. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. The Nightly Business Report is up next. I'm Jacob Gordon.
And I'm Devin Dahm for Zach Morris, Ryan Davis, and all the students who work on Evening Edition. Have a good night.